Here comes the favourite. Oh, he's thundering up the centre of the track. He's looking pretty good. Flaming Conquest, the roughing in front. Not for long. Bellegardo sailed by it. Simbu runs on, but Bellegardo too good.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I've got Walt, the Magic Man, in studio. He's coming off a heater, nearly bowled the perfect round. And how many winners yesterday at Kenzo? 5, 6, 7? It was a lot.
Mate, 6-4 chances in my wheelhouse, mate.
Hey?
6-4 chances in my wheelhouse.
Anything there? Phil?
I butchered it.
Did you?
I butchered it, yeah. I got a tip for a horse. The first at Belmont ran everything through that. I think I'd own the Gold Coast if it won and ended up winning a peanut. It was a genius effort.
So
that was a good one. They all just did as the Waller Camp on song. That was the main thing to come out of yesterday.
They're back?
Yeah, I think they got the grease and oil change and they're ready to go.
Too good. Nico, any good juju your end?
No, yesterday was tough out at Sandown, so no good juju down here. We're looking to bounce back on what looks a really hard program on Saturday at Caulfield. So not overly confident, but hopefully we can find a couple for the putters.
I tell you what, you should be confident after Takeko last week. It was a beautiful watch and really nice parade there. So probably got the double stamp from the yard from you, but wow, it won easily. And then Just Precious and Bellegardo were good up north for us. J-Dubs, you're struggling just to get the races run.
I had a magic round, none for none. Beautiful.
Oh,
will we get to race this week? Looks like we will, but it's going to be heavy. Another 6 mil for Rosehill today, just to top it back up into the 9 or 10 range. Beautiful.
Yeah, and Bagman got one scratch, so I think we had 3 winners, 3 scratchings, and it was a pretty good show for what was sort of left of it. But as Nico referenced, the fields are so deep at Caulfield, and I think it's going to be great racing right around Australia. I think Adelaide's probably the only place with a slight question mark about a genuine sort of soft 7, heavy 8 track. Most of the joints have had rain but should start to dry. Quick one about last week. New South Wales just continue to blow everyone's heads off in racing and seem to just be on the wrong side of fans. It's hard to think they can keep getting it so wrong, and it all just sort of stems from head office. The Patton race, the Group 2 missile, just got cancelled full stop, upsets the preparation. So there'll just be no winners marked in the history books for that one. So it doesn't make any sense given that they throw so much money at all these feature races and they think that that's what all the punters want, which we do, and that stimulates turnover. But then you've got a Group 2 missile that could have been placed anywhere on yesterday's Kenzo card. The track played perfectly for it, or it could be at Rosehill this Saturday. So the mind boggles, and furthermore, the Golden Eagle, this mythical, magical race that's disrupting, I guess, the pattern, is it only got created really just to put the wind up Victoria to destroy Derby Day, which it sort of half has with all these 4-year-olds going there. Now, they've made it the richest non-slot race outside the Melbourne Cup, so well done to them there. Then they offered a $5 million bonus if a horse wins the Slipper, the Golden Rose, and then the Eagle, which that part of it sort of makes sense to have the bonus, but now they've shifted the race to Randwick. What are they doing? It's primary school levels of behaviour, both the missile and now moving this Golden Eagle, and it's everyone gets the feeling that it's a real FU because they didn't get to sell Rosehill in one sentence.
I'll tackle the what was it? The missile first. They've got a Group 1 that shouldn't be a Group 1 coming up, the Winx. It's the lead up to the Group 1, and they get rid of it, and they leave the, whatever that was, the prelude to the nothing race with 27 horses that ends up a 5-horse race. And, yeah, you get people coming, they saved 300. Well, that cost them 160 to run a race on a Wednesday with 5 runners. No, just the problem is, like you say, nothing makes sense. Moving everything away from Rosehill now looks a plan. Do we know if it is or not? No, because no one comes out and says anything. It's just continued lack of transparency and illogical. Nothing makes sense. So the reason why we want to hear from them is because what they do doesn't make sense. So it's like a double fister. Any
trainers all right?
Had one ring me, yeah, and their problem is they all sort of sing the same tune. They go to their association, ask for help, ask for support, told they're going to get it. As soon as it goes pear-shaped, which it more often than does not, the phone doesn't answer. So, everyone's sort of seeking answers, and they're getting the what is it? The old no ringtone. It's going every time they're looking for it. There's no one on the other end, and they're just looking for logic too. They're just looking for it's hard to go back to their owners with okay, well, we were told this race was going to go ahead next Saturday, so we'll plan for that. And then, 24 hours later, they look like clowns.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So nothing's changed up in North Korea, and more madness and just more competition versus. It's just this. It's actually really petty, the battle against Victoria, and even on the 528 channel, it's crazy that New South Wales just push all the races back, make everyone else start on time, but they get an extra 2 minutes to try and increase their turnover. It is absolutely insane, and they're in the embarrassment of the whole Australian racing industry. Something that is going to be absolutely sensational this Saturday is our Cairns Amateur Cup pot. So obviously we're now connected to Ladbrokes, which is great news. You can just get the code Birdie TV, get into the Ladbrokes app, and we'll have a betting bank organised via them. So I think looking at the program, traditionally I think the Ladbrokes pots sort of turn off at 12:30, but thanks to our good friends up at Sydney and Brisbane are going to follow them here. They've got a big day's racing as well. We'll probably have to turn off the hosted pot at around 11:30 on Saturday because there's Rosehill race 1 at 11:35, and I'll definitely be betting into Doomben race 1 at 11:43. So if you're keen to join all the action, we'll be betting across Caulfield, Rosehill, Doomben, Morphettville, and obviously the Cairns meeting. Final fields dropped today, so I've started to itch around at some of those tapes, and I had a little bit of a warm-up Darwin Cup, and I've got the hang of the app, and I think it's going to be big, deep racing. So we'll try and pick the eyes out, get a couple of the boys' best bets, and we'll navigate our way. So if you want to have a look at our sets and what we're doing and how we tackle the race day, make sure you check it out, because Darwin Cup Day, I think we're winning 10% coming into the last race. Bet on every race up in Darwin, not an easy thing to do. And then we tried to back a couple of horses to sort of win 70, 60,000 and just got nutted by Hadouken. So we'll see how the form plays out about how aggressive we'll be.
I don't think you're going to run into Blake Shin at Cairns, though. Should be sweet there.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be there. I think the jockeys will be a step down, but looking forward to that because it's nice, clear weather up in Cairns, so it should be hard and fast racing. Today's show, Caulfield, as I said, small chance, a bit of rain on Friday. Nico's going to do 5, 7 and 8. The PB Lawrence is a feature there. Walt's got 7 and 8. He's going to swerve the Rosebud. And then I'm going to have a look at races 1 and 5 at Doomben. Dual nomination nightmare up there. Mr. Hawks and Mr. Waller have just thrown a cat amongst the pigeons in half the races. I thought I was going to do race 8, going to do race 9, and it was sort of musical chairs, then horses scratch, and then I was left with race 1 and 5. But big level of confidence there. Beat the Bagman's got a couple of tips early for us for Radelaide. And as I referenced earlier, it looks like it's going to be a 7 or an 8, so it's going to be wet and a little bit average. He's our FIFO tipster, I'm going to call him. But
what's going on there? He's the new Azza.
Well, he's got a bit of a pattern. He just loves sinking his teeth in a Morphettville race 1, coming out and trying to get the day off to a flyer. So he must be like a bit of a T20 cricketer. And his first tip is race 1, number 7, Lottie Jane. And it's a $3.70 chance. I haven't got had time yet, given how deep Caulfield is, to get through Adelaide. But that's his first bet. So race 1, number 7, Lottie Jane, $3.70. Decent little price there. And then he's going to butter up. Race 6, number 6 is Silent Emmy at $3.20. So, $3.30 now at Ladbrokes. And this is a horse that he tipped last week. So he's obviously thinking that the wet conditions are still going to suit, and he's happy to follow up, even though it's had an extra week off. Nico, let's rip the covers off this Caulfield meeting. It is very, very deep. How do you expect the track to play?
The Caulfield of late's been a bit fenced off, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting sort of towards the middle of the track, inside, maybe a slight disadvantage. So, yeah, I was sort of working around, especially the races we're previewing later in the card, that the sort of horses in the 3-wide running line will be pretty suited, I think. So that's my gut feel. It has sort of played that way of late, and with a potential probably soft 6, maybe a 5 if we're really lucky come race day. The inside might just chop away anyway. So, yeah, probably looking for the running line, I think.
That's exciting for me. Let's get into race 5. It's the Vane Stakes. It's the Tobin Brothers, 1,100 metres, Group 3. And this is sort of the signal that spring is here. Shining Smile is the favourite, $4. $4.20 Jimmy Ricard. Son of Kirk, $4.80. Tycoon Star, $6. Hay Street, $8. McGaw, $9. Express Class, $12. And then Shaggy, Sydney horse, $19. Let's have a look at a couple of replays. The first one, Son of Kirk. This is its last start win. It's in the Freedman red with the purple cap down on the fence, Nico.
Yeah, it was a bit sort of Artorias-like, wasn't it, when he charged home to win the Blue Diamond, knock us off that day. And Sam Freedman sort of alluded to that in some interviews I've heard, saying he's just got a huge turn of foot, this horse. So comes home in some of the quickest closing splits of the day. What you don't see in this replay is he missed the start over 1,000 metres. He settles last in the early stages and then weaves his way through the field to pick him up. Oyster Lane brings in a key form reference. He did run second to Shining Smile at Flemington, so you can definitely tie that in. And I just feel like Son of Kirk, the sort of progression he made from his first start to his second run, he's since had a really nice jump out at Mornington where, again, he was a little bit slowly away. Oh, here's the jump out. He's just out the back there. McNeil doesn't really ask him to take a position in this jump out in the early stages, and he gets a little bit detached, but it's probably more his work late that we really got to factor in here. This was a strong heat. You've got Vinrock sort of just in front of him there in the Yulon colours, Sepul's and out wide in the white and black. So some pretty quality horses. I just think this horse may be the best horse in the race. He just seems like there's a lot of upside there. You had a lot of improvement in the yard from his first run to his second start, and I would expect him to even improve again on Saturday from a maturity sort of mental point of view. So I'm a big fan. The turn of foot's really what sort of sells me here. And yeah, it's this last 200 metres where he's closing down Vinrock, Blue Hotel, and really looks like he's got a fair bit more to offer back in behind him. He doesn't really get a crack at him late. So I think there's a lot of talent there. Shining Smile for mine. He's been a bit blessed throughout his career. He seems to get the PR in nearly every race. I think he'll get it again here. I'm just sort of backing in that Son of Kirk's probably a better horse than him. There's maybe not as much intent there for Son of Kirk, but at the prices, I was sort of happy to lean that way. And Tycoon Star's the other runner that looks another key winning chance. He ran a huge race in the Blue Diamond. He's had 2 winning jump outs this campaign, so he doesn't look all that far away from that point of view. So yeah, I'd sort of think Son of Kirk and Tycoon Star are good chances to knock off Shining Smile, purely because I think they have more ability.
Yeah, I think he has oodles of ability just off that last start win at Caulfield. Does look freakish, and he's got the bit of that residual fitness. Might have just snuck under their guard, a little bit of a late maturer. Freedman Camp know what to do with these horses. Walt, have you got any ideas or notes about any of these ones?
I don't understand why Tycoon Star's not short. Win, lose or draw. It's just got the best form by 100 miles. 2 jump outs, really strong, and looks like he's ready to go. Perfect draw, Zara, isn't it? It's got everything going for it. So I couldn't have Shining Smile at all. McGaw's dangerous. Like, won a terrible race his first up, but looked good. Then stat wide and won, and its first up. Shaggy's Millions. Jimmy Ricard looks like it's airborne. Gate 1's dangerous. Son of Kirk's obviously dangerous. Express Class dangerous. And Hay Street's got good form down here. It's a weird race, but I thought Tycoon Star's the horse to beat clearly, and then I wouldn't be surprised if anything won. It's a great race. It's a great race. I know. I'd actually be surprised if Shining Smile won. So they're probably my 2 biggest takeouts of the race.
Nico, the question I've got, Jimmy Ricard, is he the type that's going to get around Caulfield, especially Barrier 1, or is he a horse that needs more room?
Yeah, he's a big horse. Seeing him in the yard at Flemington last start, he covers the ground really nicely. He seems like he's taken a lot of improvement from when I saw him as a 2-year-old, sort of in the debutantes, I think it was. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Caulfield was a slight knock for him, especially from the inside draw. And I was watching the Kieran Maher YouTube last night where they were putting out some content there, and they showed his gallop and then some commentary after that, and it sounded like he might need the run from what they were saying. So don't know how much you can read into that, but I would have thought this is just a nice sort of bit of a starting point for him for the spring. I think he's probably aimed at a Caulfield Guinea, so looking at sort of the type of horse he is and how he won last start at 1,200. I don't know if there'd be a stack of intent here first up. And again, he's probably a weak spot in this market as well. $6 Tycoon Star, I might change my tune. He was sort of a bit shorter a few other places, but that looks a huge price as well. So maybe you can back both Son of Kirk and Tycoon Star. Tycoon Star's a huge price given he doesn't look all that far away off his jump outs. He won both of them. So yeah, could make a huge case. That's over the odds as well.
Yeah, all he's done is drift, which is surprising.
Find a harder stable to work out than the Maher stable. These 42-day between runners, like that's it. You think it would, have a fitness edge on half of them at least. And yeah, it's interesting from Nico. That would be enough to let Jimmy Ricard through to the keeper on Saturday for sure.
Just to the eye, he doesn't strike me as 1100 Caulfield horse Jimmy Ricard. He looks like he's just going to be better at 1400.
Yeah, if everything opens up, you wouldn't surprised if he darted through, but he'll need that luck.
A little bit of a Jamie Bowl around barrier 1. Beautiful. Oh, high level of confidence from the boys. Number 1 Tycoon Star for Walt, and then Son of Kirk $6. I'll just stay on the fence with some splinters, and I'll save my powder for a little bit later. Caulfield race 7 is the next one. It's the Regal Roller. What a good horse he was. And recommendations, a favourite here, $4.80. Arkansas Kid $5. Lose some, win more is my motto. $5.50. Royal Insignia $5.50. Brudenell $6. Popperwood $8. Keep your cool $17. And then South of India $18. Going a little bit outside the square here, Nico, with Pop Award. Tell us why you like this one. It's in the green, just sort of peeling around them with the black cap.
Yeah, surprised me. I thought she'd be close to favourite off this rating last start. This is only a benchmark 78, but the second horse, Verdot's key chance early in the card. Naval Academy just in behind her in the green sleeve, ran second at Moonee Valley. And then you got Gala Queen. She's also running early in the day. So looks a hot form race. And all the commentary leading into that run was that she's probably a little bit underdone and might potentially need the run. So she goes there, wins first up. She puts down a career best rating relative to the class on that occasion. She probably had the right setup to do this. It was fast early and they've come home quick. But on the punting form data, she's rated 9.5 lengths above benchmark 78 class. So it's a huge figure. And even on some other ratings, it's her career peak. So she's gone career peak rating first up. All the commentary was she would just improve. Her last 2 campaigns, she's unbeaten. And I just feel like this race is looking for something fresh. Lose some, win more. I'd probably have him as second pick. He's been really good in his last few runs. He dropped significantly in the weights. Does have to translate his form down the straight to Caulfield, which is probably always the knock. Arkansas Kid's drawn wide. How he sort of fits into this race. He's got a big weight. I was sort of looking to be a little bit around him. So, and Royal Insignia, one of the other chances, he's not very good on wet tracks. I think if it's wet, they'll probably scratch him. So there could be a little bit coming out of the race there. So I thought Pop Award, if the track is favouring those horses in the running line, getting to the middle part of the track, that's where she'll be. I imagine she's probably 2 pairs, maybe even 3 pairs back midfield, searching into, sort of making that surging run into the straight. And I think she's stakes class any day of the week. So looks well placed here for mine, coming off a career peak first up.
Walt, you got any ideas about this one?
Yeah, well, it's just any amount of speed. So I just went looking for Royal Insignia and then it drew 1 and it does like the wet. So yeah, it's the only horse I could possibly, I think if it was dry and drawn wide, it would be a very, very hard to beat. But
Royal
you don't
Insignia.
get either of those. Yeah, you don't get either of those. And I sort of found the same horse as Nico by default. And just sort of a bit of race fitness, drawn the right spot to be able to sort of have options, which is really important in these sprint races, I think. And it was the only horse I could sort of entertain backing. And yeah, so the same line of thinking as Nico, and hoping that Royal Insignia gets bailed away and never gets a look at him.
Sent in the tips last night. I was sort of expecting we're going to be taking $5 about this mare, and now she's $8. You can probably have a really good bet, sort of 1 by 3 here at $2.50 the place. I think $8 is way over the odds. So maybe the place option looks a good sort of way to play here.
What about Arkansas Kid and Brudenell up the top of the weights? I know that Arkansas Kid is an absolute bomb wet tracker.
Yeah, he's jumped out well. I just don't think this is an easy task, carrying 60 kilos first up from a wide draw. Brudenell is in a bit of a similar bloke. He probably draws to get the run of the race, but I don't know. It feels like when there's something of a little bit more class than him in the race, they usually beat him. He usually finds a progressive horse to sort of get the better of him. So, and there looks a few of them here. So I was sort of, if I was put him in the top 3, I'd be Pop Award from Lose Some, Win More, and then Arkansas Kid. And I would say Royal Insignia has a chance not to be there.
Yeah,
it's hard resuming at your top distance too. And I don't think he gets an inch past 1200, does he? It's, wide draw. I know Shin's a freak, but wide draw, biggest weight, end of distance, first up.
And Brudenell, high
Very
tempo
tough.
races?
Yeah, it's just far out if it wins this race. It's flying. Jeez. It's going to get company up on speed too, inside draw. Yeah. What is South of India doing in this race? No. Spent enough, yeah. I think Nico's found the right horsey.
Beautiful. All right, so that's race 7, number 10, Pop Award, $8. I suspect that price is going to go off if both boys have found it, so shop now if you like it. Race 8 is the next one. It's the feature. It is the PB Lawrence Stakes. It's a 1,400-metre Group 2. Private Eye is the lucky loser from the Missile Stakes, cancelled, and look to have a mortgage on the race. $3.10 favourite here in the Lawrence. Evaporate $3.90 here to Shock $7. Sepples $7, Desert Lightning $8.50, Moira $14, Yellow Sam $17, and then you got Pinstriped at $18. Let's have a look at the strategy as a reference point. Private Eye and Desert Lightning here. Nash just sort of put the hammer down early and got it in a good spot, Private Eye. And you're just to the inside in the red and the white.
Steaming up his backside.
Yeah, is Desert Lightning. And he was off really weird setups, and he's the sort of horse that I think is dangerous. It's got a bit of a moody whiff having him first up here, and I still like the way he just sort of picked himself up and nearly went round Private Eye's backside there, and he was the horse that I was drawn to instantly when I saw the market sort of go up. Evaporates the other key chance here. Futuri Run versus Tom Kitten and Mr. Brightside. Nico, talk us through that one. This horse in the maroon with the yellow cap.
He sort of got caught out wide in this race, and a few people post-race were saying it maybe wasn't the best ride. He did it tough. He was a 3-year-old versus the older horses. I would say of his jump outs and his last start rating, there may be a case he's just continued to improve, this horse, which sort of feels funny given his early record. But his jump outs leading in this campaign have been super sharp. And then that win last start in the Carbine Club is his best rating for his career. So the huge grey up here for mine. He did jump out at them his last piece of work, but they do put the earmuffs on for the first time on race day. And Walt's probably the man to talk about. He was probably the first one I ever heard talk about this, and I've taken a bit of a note since, but it's a bit of a scary gear change fresh, I would have thought. He's
mooing like a cow or making the noise. Hey?
I think there's sort of the higher class and I think sprint, like 1,400 this horse, it mightn't be too bad, but it's not a positive. That's definitely not a positive. But I don't think it's a game ender for this horse. But yeah, it did scare the life out of me when I saw it.
Sepples, Nico, very hard in the market. What are your thoughts? 1-3 from 5, but now takes on the older horses.
I'm a fan. Like, his CSA's rating was big. He had a few things in his favour on that day where few were unfit, and he sort of got the right run off a genuine pace. But sort of assessing him in the yard, I think he's probably got the chance to mature again this campaign. He seemed like last campaign he was doing a bit of it off raw ability. His jump out leading in, we saw it in the Son of Kirk trial. He was out there wide in the white colours, and I think he might have gone from a bit of a boy to a man this campaign. If he was in the Regal roller, I would have been super keen to back him. I think it's a bit of a tough ask, first up at weight for age, 1,400 metres. I'd probably rather back him in a Rupert Clark than back him here where he's going to be down in the weights and we're going to see a bit more of him. I think he is talented. I think he's good enough to potentially have a say in a few of those handicaps. But yeah, just the weight for age probably scared me off a little bit here. I think it's a really tough race. Like, you probably couldn't knock here to Shock too much. He rolls forward, gets an uncontested lead, and Private Eye's had that tick over trials since he didn't go around last week, and seems like a really suitable assignment for him to get in here, weight for age against a few 4-year-olds who are on the way up. And he seems that, although he wasn't too badly off in the Stradbroke, only carrying 57 relative to the other horses in the race, like, he's probably never going to win a Group 1 carrying top weight anymore. So I think this weight scale suits him a lot better than that sort of scenario. Yeah, I got no idea here, to be honest. I haven't really made a real thought, but I think I'll probably end up tipping Private Eye on top. That would be my gut feel.
Desert Lightning, for me, just at the price, I think that sort of $8 or $9 is enough to suck me in. I think he'll should get a good run in transit just behind the speed, and perfect setup job for a horse that's bomb fresh.
Ridiculous price. Ridiculous. How's he not shorter than Private Eye? Like, he should have beaten Private Eye by 5 in that Stradbroke. It was the best ride you've ever seen. And if you got a horse that's more vulnerable first up 1,400, it's got to be Private Eye over Desert Lightning. He was ready for a missile last week. He wasn't ready for a missile. They trialled him, and now he's running 1,400 here, drawn wide. Probably not going to find cover, you wouldn't think, unless Nash pulls a rabbit out of his hat, whereas Desert Lightning's just got the option to do whatever it wants.
Has it ever won a race,
Yeah.
Desert Lightning, like away from New Zealand? I think it's won one race at Sandown. Like,
It was
it's not the most prolific winner.
It was going good the other day, and it just draws one.
Just coming off a
I
couple,
just can't understand how it's $8.
couple of ranks
Peter
that
Shop
are
usually improves with the run. I sort of found holes and everything. Evaporates the horse to beat. Just depends what the muffs do, and it's $4. So I probably either back Desert Lightning each way or back Desert Lightning, save on Evaporate, and hope the muffs don't do their job. And if Private Eye wins, it's just another splinter in the backside of Private Eye. I think he's my favourite horse until I backed him to win a house in the Everest, and then ever since then he's just done nothing but jam me in the back door. But that's all right. That's all right.
Anything Moira, the horse that first appeared in the Doncaster trial behind Lindemann, Art Volant, anything there? Damien Lane, Waller?
That's for you, Nico. I don't Canadian form. I'm like that.
No, I couldn't have any of these Yulong mares. They all just seem like complete pen jobs to me. Of what we've seen from in Australia, none of them have really heard jump outs and trials have been okay, but they weren't really grabbing your eyes. So yeah, I sort of completely penned all three of them, although they got the leading riders on. I'd be surprised if it even won.
One of them goes all right, Nico. One of the Yulong mares goes pretty good.
Oh, well, yeah, that one. They're in a different world compared to her.
Yeah. Goes without saying, I would have thought. Beautiful stuff. Nico, you'll be out there. You'll be doing the yard, so people could jump on Twitter, find Nico's yard, and 3 to 5 minutes before you'll get his staking advice with comments. So as I mentioned earlier with a horse like Takeko, once you see it in the yard, once Nico gives it the rubber stamp, sometimes you just shove more in and more on, and it's a very big yard day given the depths of the field. Horses first up, so it'd be a massive edge to get Nico's yard stuff.
So, yeah, pattern will be important too, so he can sort of incorporate both.
Exactly.
It'll unlock a few doors.
All right, let's go and have a look at Rosehill. A bit of wet and wild stuff here. How do you think the track's going to play?
Wet. Yeah, no. They said it was sort of getting back to sort of 8-7-ish this morning, and then it dumped again. It's back into the 9, and talking about not, trials potentially being off tomorrow because there's surface water, so that's not a great sign, is it? I don't think there's much more rain predicted, but yeah, it's going to be heavily wet, and something, what, a 1 metre rail. I think they'll be sort of getting to the middle, and I don't think you want to be coming from too far back again because it's just so heavy and so hard to sustain runs.
Build your revs.
It seems to be the pattern at the moment.
Fair enough. Let's have a look at race number 7. It's the Cap Devant at Kiora, handicap over 1,400 metres, and War Eternals $3.70, Birdman $3.80, Palmetto $6.50, Our God Hope $8.50, Adelaide River $9, Kinesiology $10, Angpao $16 and $17 for Lown Legend. Rounding out the chances courtesy of Ladbrokes. Couple that we're going to have a look at. The first one, it's Our Gold Hope Trial. It's a grey. It's out the back in the white silks. Couple of not bad horses in this one. Private Eye and Cho Wolf in this trial. And then you got the grey, Our Gold Hope, just off their backsides coming to the outside here. Well,
deeming to the outside, yeah. So 2 trials. Both its trials were in pretty fast run trials against nice horses that are sort of trying to get ready first up, I think. A lot of them are. So, yeah, in isolation, that was probably what pushed me towards this horse more than the others. You can see how well she's trialled there. She loves wet ground. Horses like Birdman and Adelaide River trialled visually as well, but in, 1,200 metre ridiculously slow run trial. So I think even though they look visually similar, that's a proper trial, whereas they're in, myth trials.
War Eternals, the next one we're going to have a look at. Last start, I was on it and didn't know if it was going to come outside. Has a bit of a think about it. Then it goes back onto the inside in the blue with the red.
Yeah, and 4-horse fields, that's Sydney racing currently, but it was very hard to run on and pick up here, and you can see he never travelled really the whole race. Maybe the ground wasn't great, maybe it's the first time he hadn't seen it for a while, and you can see sort of he never gives up, keeps trying. He was second up off a long break there, so now third up, that run under the belt on the wet track, perfectly drawn down to 54. It's a process of elimination, this race. You've just got so many horses resuming, and, just trying to find a horse that's suited 1,400 metres. Land Legend, you would say not. Adelaide River's trialling really well, but first up 300 days, you wouldn't think it's, ready to go. Palmetto normally needs a run or two. Birdman's trialled really well, but it's a bit of a suck horse, isn't it? I'm happy for it to beat me, considering its prices. Our Gold Hope, I think, is a huge price. and War Eternal is just going to be the right place at the right time. The only thing I was whinging about there is the price. It's probably well enough found against this sort of class, $5, $6, you might still get it. And I think that'd be fair. And kinesiology sort of fits in with those other stayers resuming. And I didn't think it trialled as well as the other one. So, yeah, I just a bit of value really. And just assuming that these horses are, a little bit better suited, a little bit better turn of foot at 1,400, whereas the others will be, out for a look, out trying. But today's definitely not their day in the sun.
Yeah, I think these are the two horses. I think only an unfair track or them not coping with the wet conditions get beat here. But I love the thinking. And War Eternal, not sure it's going to drift too much.
I don't think it will, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, if it was 5 or 6, I can't justify the difference in price between it and Our Gold Hope's probably my biggest issue. I probably just got to back Our Gold Hope to win more than the other one is probably the best way to put it.
Nico, the racing show, you guys previewed some of the big Melbourne Cup features, Caulfield Cup, Land Legend, Adelaide River. Did they come onto your radar at all or whatsoever?
No, they're a bit too exposed for us. We were looking for the more the X Factor type runners. Land Legend's a bit of a sore point still from last spring. He pulled his head off in the Caulfield Cup, and then the Melbourne Cup was the same thing. And I thought he'd be able to sort of turn it around, but Waller couldn't work his magic there. I looked at this race and I thought it looked like an 1,800-metre race on paper with Land Legend, Adelaide River, Birdman, Our Gold Hope, Kinesiology, and they're all over 1,400. So yeah, you can tell it really is the kickoff point of the spring. I couldn't knock Walt finding Our Gold Hope. She's a really good wet tracker. I had a good crack at her. I think it was the Neville Selwood or one of those kind of races when she was like 50s in on that wet Rosehill track, and she nearly got the job done there against Seawolf. So there's a lot of class there on her day, and she does seem to appreciate the ground. So couldn't knock that at all.
Agree with that. There's just so much junk in the race, and that's why I don't think War Eternal will get back out, given he's so hard fit. Beautiful. We're on the same page there. Rosehill Race 8. It's the Precise Air Handicap. It's a benchmark 78 over 1,400 metres. And the favourite here is Punting, $5. Everyone loves it. Yoshinobu, $6.50. Captain Furai, $6.50. $9 Denman Star. Starman, $10. Thought he was a really good bet up in Doomben, so a little bit peeved that they've scratched from the lucky last race there. It was a great $5 chance. So really angry with Mr. Waller. Hanau is $12. Brosnan, $13. Fully Lit, $16. Anything Goes, $16. And you got Formal Display, $17. And much, much better the rest. Even a horse that looked really suitable at about 50 to 1 up in Doomben. Battleton's there, so not happy with Bjorn there either. Let's have a look at the replay of the horse John likes, and it's Captain Furai. Yeah, not great vision here.
I'm supposed to be the angry one. Why are you the angry man? I'm supposed to be the angry man.
Yeah, this is in the Hermitage colours, if you can see it, outside leader. It's in the red with the green and the Waller nose band.
It was definitely the place to be up on Speedy, but he was first up here, and when worked hard, I thought Elson Boy was third up or something, and real sort of sloggy sort of horse, Elson Boy. So, and you can see how tired, like he just absolutely peaked, Captain Furai. The other horses are coming back late. So, yeah, outside leader there, he sort of was forced to that spot. I expect him to probably not find that sort of spot here. I think there's a lot more tempo, sort of punting back 1,800 to 1,400 is a weird one. Got out sprinted last start, and they've dropped him back in distance. I thought that was strange. It was a bad ride. He went too slow, but still, maybe a wet track will help him. But there's quite a few go forward horses here, and I think McDonald will be desperate to ride this horse just in behind. And I think he is just a wet tracker. I think he's just a mad skipper, and I think this is his chance in life is to put a race like this away. There's not much. Like Yoshinobu got beat 175 metres on a wet track last start. Punting, we sort of talked about already. Now got gapped on a wet track. Denman Star's coming out of a midway. It's going well and it's dangerous, but it's coming out of a midway. There's not much else there. There's just a Fully Lit doesn't seem to like the wet. The Zai's had its chance previous like these on these tracks in these races, hard fit and hasn't done anything. So I'm probably more looking Denman Star is a dangerous sort of horse, and then Anything Goes, who hasn't won since bloody I won something, and Formal Display, who's first up from who knows where. One of those, I think it's Annabelle, isn't it? Is it Annabelle? Formal Display. It trialled quite well. It trialled quite well twice, and it's probably dangerous at 20 to 1. So, yeah, I think I can't understand why this horse is not shorter, especially with J-Mac on it. They always usually freaks me out, but it just looks too obvious to me not to run extremely well, Captain Furai, and I thought Anything Goes and and formal display at sort of 20 to 1-ish, $18, whatever they are worth having a peanut on because it's such a hollow race.
Nico, did you find Baroque Road coming up from Melbourne chasing a wet track or formal display, the trialer from the Annabelle Yard?
No, don't think Baroque Road's going to feature in anyone's real tips of his recent form, but his best would be somewhere in the mix. It's interesting to see J-Mac and Waller with Walt sort of chiming in there at $6.50. So, that seems like an intriguing play. Yoshinobu, he seems like he has all the talent in the world. I know they had a big opinion of him early in his career. He ran in the Coolmore. And then, last start, he just didn't seem to go a yard in the track. And then prior to that, he was a good winner. I think OTI, he was Aquas early, then he got sold and OTI bought into him. So they've obviously given him a bit of a push to take up this horse's ownership. So he seems like he's heading the right way, but the wet ground's going to be a real query for him off last run. So, the Sydney benchmark races, they're not really whetting my appetite at the moment with the real wet tracks, but I'll be cheering on Walt with the Captain Furai colours. It reminds me of the Autumn Sun, J-Mac and Waller in those colours. So that's probably where my love for those silks comes from.
He went like a rocket first up, Yoshinobu, but he never went at all. It's just weird. Yeah, you'd be nearly surprised if it ran. But and I don't know if I'd want it to cop the deduction or remove the horse because he's the only one with really any upside and ability in the race.
What about Starman? My Brizzy horse, Starman.
Yeah, he should have gone to Brisbane on his way to Kakadu. Mate, if he was ever going to win a race, it was last start.
And then if he wins on Saturday, what will you do? Do something silly.
My ass. My ass. Do you want me to talk very briefly about this other race that we've not prepared for? The 3-year-olds, what's it called? The Rosebud?
Yeah, I'll go on then.
Well, it's
like going off script.
There were 4 acceptors, so it's another New South Wales genius effort. There were 4 acceptors with like 10 minutes to go.
I'll go through the market quickly for you. All right. We've got Peloton, $2.50, Skyhook, $3.90, Blitzberg, $5, Nashville Jack, $5, and then you got Grand Prairie, $8.50, and Peleus at $23. There's the graphic. He's too good.
What a genius our man is.
Isn't he?
Yeah, so Shaggy was, I don't think Shaggy was already in Melbourne ready to go, so it was a 6-horse field even though, and then, see how many we end up with. But Skyhook's had 1 trial, Blitzberg 2, I don't think it's as good. Nashville Jack won on that heavy track the other day, which has got to put it in good stead, and Peloton is trialling like Burnborough.
Bomb.
Remember his first start, he went like absolute rocket, and then his next 2, remember he popped out and was going to win, and then looked like he got a flat tire, and then he was completely cast. So gate 1, with the way this track is, but small field, he looks ready to go. Skyhook scares me because I think he's a very, very good horse. I just think he's vulnerable here.
6.5 kilos. Massive.
It is, and fitness-wise too. And we got wet track. I don't know if it's his go, but it looks Peloton's race. When those horses get daylight and they get a flat tire, it scares me to chime in on a wet track. But his trials have been excellent. But it's probably a lesser quality race of what Nico's dealing with at Caulfield. It's good to see some good 3-year-olds back, but it's trialling well. Peloton, I think Nashville Jack's probably the danger just because it's got the run under the belt and you know that he's going to handle the slop. So I think they're the 2 in the Rosebud.
Nico, you're a trial perv. You had a Captain Cook at this one?
Yeah, I thought Skyhook's trial was really good. I really liked that effort where he just got off their back and hit the line strong. Peloton's the same. He's trialled really well. I think they're interesting horses. These horses have put down a big rating on debut and then sort of come off their form a little bit in the subsequent runs. A lot of the time you can see throughout their career that they never get back to that big rating and they're sort of just always trying to chase that. And he may be one of those horses. I think there's a little bit of an angle there. Skyhook's got the big weight. I had a good look at Nashville Jack, who you know what you're going to get with him. He's going to handle the track. He's got the fitness advantage. And when you compare their ratings, he's not that far off them. So although he doesn't have the stronger form lines as the other 2, in the group class races, if you're just going to purely go off the ratings, which is what the market will do, he's probably a good chance to knock him off. So he was the way I was going to play.
Fascinating little race, given it's the wet deck, and that's probably scared a few off. Don't want to resume on this.
Well, I hope that's what it is. For only having 4 acceptors in a natural lead up to all these big features, it's pretty scary. But hopefully, it's just a anomaly.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad that we went off script and just covered that one anyway. So if you want the full suite of Walt stuff, make sure you head to racingwatch.com.au and jump in his Discord channel, or you can just get the noise-free Telegram channel service. So very exciting spring coming up in New South Wales. and we like betting there. So if you like betting as well, check out
Just like betting.
Walt stuff. Yeah, if you're
Bet.
betting, full
Bet,
stop.
bet.
Good place to be. I'm there all the time. Let's have a look at Doomben, and I think it'll play typical Doomben. It's a big advantage to be in the first few pairs, and if it really cops some surprise rain or starts to get really wet, they might start to swoop a little bit, and I've sort of cross-referenced that with GK as well. Doomben Race 1 is the first one we're going to have a look at, and I think I've found a progressive horse here. It's the benchmark 70, 1600. Dracaena is $2.90, Victory Flame $4.80, Cavalryman $5, Little Russo $7, Aolani is $8.50, Walsh Bay $11, Sizzling Gal $13, and Caracaron $21. Horse I like here is Dracaena and new stable. So we've got a new horse here. It's in the white and the red with the white blinkers, and this is first up over 1400 Sunshine Coast. Just absolutely puts a hole in the maiden here, and first run for Troy Pascoe. So he's doing a great job with this mare, 4-year-old now, and really like the progression it made. In its next start, went to a 3-year-old Cutest handicap on a Saturday, and it was a 1600-metre event. It was sort of stuck on the fence. It pulls itself off the fence and around the heels of Ramp It Up, and that was the horse that was eyeballing the 300 in the Group 3 at the Sunshine Coast, and that horse went to the Coffs Harbour Cup, and I think it just came to the end of its prep. But Ramp It Up's got some pretty good form. It's got Mr. Bianco form. They've put a pretty big gap on the field there, and I'm just treating this 4-year-old mare as a brand new horse, and if she was going to be beaten, it was there. And I just love the way she duked it out and run down that good horse in Ramp It Up. So I think she's still on the upward spiral, and now third up 1600 metres. She's cherry ripe. I think there's a danger in Sizzling Gal, who comes through that Coffs Harbour race. I think she just got well out of the ground, and $13 looks a slight spoil there. But the problem with Sizzling Gal is she's been up since January, so she's been in work 8 months, whereas Dracaena, the favourite, is third up and got that freshness edge. Victory Flame's probably the next in the market at $4.80, but I'd just rather be with Dracaena, the horse on the way up. And there's just a heap of these horses in the race. They're just poorly set up, or they're dropping back in trip, and she just stuck out to me just so obviously, Dracaena. She'll have to come off a rating by 4 or 5 lengths, I think, to get beat here, and just gets the perfect storm. Victory Flame's got the weight swing, but I still think there's just so much upside in this Dracaena mare.
Haven't got there, boss.
And I don't think Nico's got there either. Nico, nothing, any love for any of these?
No, haven't got there. Don't think I'll end up getting there either. I'll just take your word for it.
I think you should get there. Race 1 at Doomben. So I'll be opening the account with the Ladbrokes hosted pot, definitely with Dracaena. What's that?
Can't wait to be on there. If you're straight into it, 11:43, you're either on the Chev or you're on the celebration. It's great.
Mouthguard in, just aggressive. What's the young kid that plays cricket for Australia? Sam Constas?
Glenn McGrath.
Yeah, I'll be like him. Just come out swinging. Yeah, it'd be either me or Ladbrokes standing at the end of the day, and I can't wait. Love a scrap. Doomben Race 5 is the next one. It's the Drinkwise Handicap. It's a 3-year-old, $13.50 event. Idyllic Affairs $3.90. Go Maro $6. Wannabe Brutal $7.50. Benefits of Mine $8. Love to Talk $9. Destiny Summit $10. And then Lady Tangaluma $13. And then Wanted Hillbilly. Horse I like here is Idyllic Affair, and this is it on debut. And Space Rider is the big spruik horse here, the Mick Price horse. It was in the blue with the light blue colours there, and the blue sleeves coming to the outside now with the yellow cap. This is Idyllic Affair, and I thought that was a pretty good debut run for its first little go at it. Idyllic Affair just stuck to the task, was just sort of teaching it to sort of switch off, and that was Boomshanker that beat it that day. And again, it settled midfield here, and they absolutely crawled. And I thought Idyllic Affair did a really good job to reel in Boomshanker here. And I think there's a fair bit of intent here. 1350 first up. This horse trialled 2 days ago over 1,000 metres, asked to do nothing. It looks like it's grown a lot, and it was moving perfectly at the Gold Coast. And I think it's just really revved up and ready to fire here over 1350, which it just looks like to my eye that it's sort of crying out for. And there's just not much guts to this race at all. Love to Talk has got some form. It's a $9 chance. Lady Tangalooma, I sort of went looking for the Golan Danger, and it went awful in a pretty bad race. And Benefits of Mine was a good winner at the Gold Coast 2 starts back, but sort of didn't really follow it up the start after that. And Go Maro is sort of just a horse as well. So if this thing's got any upside at all, Idyllic Affair, I think it'll continually be backed. I think sort of $3.90 is probably a fair price to take, and you could probably back it all the way down to sort of $2.50. I think it's just will be handlebars down, and I wouldn't be surprised if they put into the race this time. Kyle Wilson-Taylor, good booking for a horse just to be put on speed or sit second pair.
Yeah, 13.50 is the interesting part, isn't it? It's a weird one, but
well, that was
don't hate it.
That was my real big query, and then I realised that it had the trial at the Gold Coast 2 days ago. And the only reason that you do that is A, if it's 13.50 first up, or B, it's just going so well that you just need to sort of knock the edge off it.
It's interesting. It's interesting because the first trial was only 2 weeks ago, 900 straight to 1,000. Yeah, interesting. I'd agree with you. If it runs the distance or it's ready, it'd be odds on.
Yeah, the other thing I thought with its last start win, there was decent form. It had decent form on debut, and then it might have just been like an end of prep run as well, because then I haven't seen it for a while, so it might have gone a bit shinny or might have had just an underlying issue. So they've given it a nice big break, but you just look at it and it looks like it's grown completely. If you go back and dig into the trial at Racing Queensland, you'll probably see what I see. So I think I'm going to back that one with a heck of a lot of confidence. And the rest of the card at Doomben is, it's full of these little like sprint races. And as I said earlier, the dual nominations have been quite diabolical, especially in the last 2 races. So I usually do the lucky last, but not today, unfortunately.
You don't want to talk about the triple acceptor up there?
Oh, yeah, that's part of the problem, the Blade.
The Blade?
Well, there's talk the Blade... The Blade's in at Caulfield, Barrier 1, and it's in Barrier 6 at Brisbane, and then it's Barrier 7 at Rosehill.
Apparently it's going to Brisbane. That's the form. That's the word. And Tyler Schiller, the Thriller, his first day back from back injury as well. He's up there, which is... I don't know if he's up there for that horse or another horse. You'd assume that the Blade would be a good reason for him to sort of head up there and kick off his spring campaign as well.
They just don't race horses in Brisbane, the Hawks yard.
They don't. But yeah, he's obviously chasing a bit of sunshine, aren't they? I don't know. They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it in Sydney. So it kind of makes sense. It looks very well placed in Brisbane. I know there's a few camps cheering for it to be scratched in Brisbane that are racing against it, but I don't think they're going to get their wish, unfortunately.
No. Yeah,
it's a weird one though, isn't it? 3 states. You don't see it very often.
No.
And still in all 3 on a Thursday. Helpful.
Annoying. Anyway, if you want to see how we're going to play all states on Saturday, make sure you join the Ladbrokes Mates Mode group. There's a link on our Twitter account, or you can just jump into the Ladbrokes app and you just follow it through with your account. It's only $50 to buy. It's a max bet of a max look for $50, and then all the pot just gets divided at the end of the day. So hopefully we can turn it into something for you, and hopefully there's plenty of value and plenty of winners along the way. So that should
it can be a little tricky. So I think you'll post a link or whatever, like to get in there, because it's app only, right? It's not you can't do it off your desktop. It's phone only. I'm sure Nick will put the link in to show you, sort of click you through, and then it just pops you straight into the group. Otherwise, it can be a little bit tricky to find. But once you do it one time, it'll be easy. Slide
into our DMs on Twitter, or talk to us in the Discord channel if you're having any problems. But we'll be trying to bet across as many races as we can, but we'll be trying to preserve the bank for as long as we can.
Max entertainment, max upside. Is that something like that?
Yeah. I think it's we'll try and have a swing at 1 or 2 races throughout the day, but we'll be trying to keep you guys going for as long as we can, and try and tip as many winners as we can.
Yeah, I think it's very different. It's similar, but it's not like when you sort of used to say like a look at how a professional player. This is a little bit more aggressive, a bit more entertainment. We're just trying to make the most of what we got in front of us on the day, create a bit of to find the best opportunities, try and exploit them, and we might go down swinging a little bit more than others, but that's what it's designed to be, right? It's not. It's an entertainment thing, and we're definitely doing whatever we possibly can to create the best result as well, right?
Well, yeah, we've got final fields at Cairns at 10 o'clock this morning, or they've only just come out for the last hour. So that looks like me for the next 48 hours, just peeling back the layers of the beautiful Cairns form.
I might have to start being nice to Jared again and get him up there. And
Need a set.
yeah.
So if you like anything, Cairns, send me a DM. All right, big thanks to Punting Form and Ladbrokes, you down there and Nico. It looks like they're one of the deepest Caulfield meetings I've ever seen. So make sure you get around his yard product. And Walt, let's just get the races on. That's all we want from North Korea. We just want them on.
Anywhere. I think Newcastle, I don't know if they're on today. My God, it never ends.
Does it ever stop raining in Sydney?
No, it's raining in Newcastle again. My God, it's just weird. It's just like every third day, and it drops 10 mil. It doesn't drop 1. It's just enough to top up the bloody dams everywhere. It's a nightmare.
Anyway, there's four or five really good tracks to bet on, and we'll be finding all the best bets across them. So we'll see you in the Mates Mode pot chat.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website